the crowd from traditional publishing just keeps getting sicker and more depraved as time goes on because they're realizing that they no longer have an audience anymore among actual readers, people who actually just like good things. So they're trying to just stand out by getting edgier and more disgusting. And this is what we are going to cover today. An article by, gosh, it's hard to even talk about this stuff, by a person, I guess, we'll be nice, who's advocating sex in children's books. Yes. Absolutely crazy. I hate having my image up for one of my books when I'm talking about this stuff, but we are the alternative to this kind of stuff. We are independent fiction. We are advocating against this sort of stuff. This is The Ember War Book 2, Ruins of Anthelos, which is Richard Fox's awesome science fiction epic. I am penning and scripting the comic book adaptation for this, which is on Kickstarter right now. There's no sex in this book. It's clean, so you can enjoy it, and actually your teenage kids can also without any problems. So I'll have that link in the description below. Please back it and support what we're doing here today. All right. I just came across this article this morning. Thank you to J.D. Cowan for sending this to me. And sex in young adult books is age appropriate, says Danica Ellis. Now, I started going through this article, and I'm going to try to get through it while talking about this on video, but it's very disturbing. And as you start to get through it, I'm going to start to get mad, and it's just going to be a thing. This is disgusting stuff. And I, of course, looked up the person immediately, and here we are, Danica Ellis. And she says, I run the Lesbrary and pretty much talk about queer women books 24/7. She's a Book Riot associate editor, so she works for this literary site, which is a traditional publishing shill company. As you can see, they've got a lot of followers. A lot of those are probably fake, but definitely tied in with the mainstream industry, and this is what they do full-time. Now, here's the website, the Lesbrary, and it's a lesbian and bi library. Wow. And as you can tell, it's about as cringe as you would expect it to be. So she wrote an article about young adult books, and of course, those are books aimed at teenagers or young people, sometimes even as young as like 8 or 10 years old. And she's talking about how the terrible parents go, there's sex in this book. And she claims they're terrible parents. Of course, those are good parents that are paying attention to what their children are reading in reality. And it should be a slam dunk, as she said. She of course, uses this phraseology, we're led to believe. High school libraries should not carry sex books. Agreed. Teenagers should not read sex in books. Agreed. Sex is automatically inappropriate content for teenagers. Agreed. But is it really age inappropriate? So this is where it gets into weird pedo shit right here. Automatically. And yes, it is age inappropriate. And this is the point of these people in these Lesbrary lifestyles. They want to start to groom the children into these lifestyles. This is their entire intention. And the mask is slipping at this point. So here we go. I'm reminded of a book challenge I read recently for It's Perfectly Normal, a book about puberty aged at ages 10 and up. Now, we're getting into 10 years old, as this person talks about. A person filing a complaint had painstakingly taken pictures of every instance of nudity. This is an anatomical text. It was fine. The illustrations were unnecessary. Wow. What could be more age appropriate for a kid going through puberty than a book that discusses puberty? It starts getting further as we get into this. And so look at how she ties this into this. We're talking about puberty and like changes going on in a body, which of course the kids notice when it's happening. And then she ties it into sex immediately, right? 55% of teenagers have had sex by the time they turn 18. It's normal to have sex under 18 is what we're trying to tell everybody. Disgusting. No, we should not be. Here's the thing. Just because it happens doesn't mean we should be advocating it or encouraging it. In fact, we should as a society be discouraging it so that the children don't get screwed up. How about that? How about we should aim for this number being less, not aim for this number being more, you fucking sicko. I'm sorry I swore. I can't deal with this stuff. 29% are sexually active. Whether or not adults want that to be true, it's part of many teenagers' lives. And whether or not they're having sex, it's naive to think they're only encountering the topic in library books. It gets even crazier. I actually didn't know these stats before. And I find this to be absolutely disgusting, and it's something our society needs to do something about. We need to shut this stuff down because our children are getting destroyed. Our children are ending up just depraved lunatics because they are getting abused at young ages, and that's what's happening here. The abuse that they suffer actually goes further here. Here we are, 59% have watched porn. 24% watch porn at least once a week. Oh my gosh. That's really disturbing that that's the case with teenagers. Holy crap. This is not a good thing. This is something that needs to be stopped. This is something that means that pornography is too readily available and it needs to be banned. That's what I'm reading out of this. Now, this person's conclusion, Danica, concludes that instead we should be adding more sex into children's books. This is the opposite of what should be done. If this is how bad things are for children right now, obviously, we need to cut off access. That's going to be the most important thing you could possibly do. Absolutely disgusting. Reading about sex can serve different purposes for teens. Yeah, like grooming them, right? Jesus Christ. It may be educational to learn about consent and safer sex practices. No, they shouldn't be doing that. Period. Oh my God, I'm getting so pissed right now. It can be a model for a healthy relationship to sexuality, including establishing boundaries and giving clear consent. They can't consent. They're children. How about that? For teens who aren't having sex or are unsure about their sexuality, and this is what it is, this is what it's all about, here's the grooming, books can be a safe way to dress rehearse sex with no stakes. This is fucking disgusting. How is this article up, and how does somebody allow this to get published anywhere? This person should, oh my gosh, this is so nasty. I can't fathom that somebody typed this and thought this was a good thing, and that other people allowed it to be published on their site on bookriot.com. There's an article, again, from this Book Riot, which I was showing you a second ago, which is an actual publishing industry website, which shows for mainstream publishing. This is a New York publishing establishment, and they thought this was okay. Holy crap, this is disgusting. Whew. Oh my gosh. Okay. It can serve the same purpose as sex does in adult fiction because it's too realistic for those characters and suits the story. It doesn't have to be educational. No, just brainwash these kids into this stuff every moment of every day. That's what they want. They want the kids addicted to porn. They want the kids addicted to sex. And that way they can abuse these children because that's, at the end of the day, these lifestyles want children involved. That's what Hollywood's all about. If you go back to the Weinstein crap, you notice he's not picking on 30, 40-year-old women trying to get them into bed with him. No, he's picking on 15, 16-year-olds. That's what he's trying to do. They're all sick. They want them younger and younger because it makes them feel young. Absolutely disgusting stuff. Oh my gosh. Having sex as a teenager isn't ethically wrong. Wait, what? Did I read that right? Okay. It's not a crime. I don't know about that. For every person, they're going to have different boundaries when it's safe and comfortable to do so. And if they want to at all, they shouldn't feel pressure to have sex. But acting like the very topic is scandalous and shameful does not make those choices easier. I think that the real problem we have in our society right now is people don't have shame. People don't have shame about talking this stuff. They don't have shame about pushing these boundaries whatsoever. I see it all the time, especially on the internet, and that's why the real deal is you should be keeping your kid off the internet at all costs. I mean, if you can keep them off the internet till they're 18, God bless you, you probably should. But it's disgusting out there. There is no shame. There are no boundaries. It's pushing further than ever before. It's pushing more degenerate than ever before. And it's going to lead to a whole generation of people who are just completely screwed up in the head. Because when you get involved in this stuff at young ages and you get pushed into this stuff, which is basically prostitution at young ages, you end up just a totally train wreck as an adult. That's the truth of all this. All these people end up mentally ill, and we are pushing more mental illness on our society and on our children. They should be kept away from it at all costs. They should maintain their innocence for as long as possible. This is an obvious thing. If we want to protect our society, if we want our society to grow and be better, that is what needs to be done. This kind of stuff needs to be stopped right now. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so frustrated with this. I don't know that I could read the rest of this. It's really bad. And of course, here we go, the old abstinence only talking point. What's wrong with abstinence? What's wrong with telling kids not to go do this stuff? What's wrong with telling kids, control your urges, don't do this stuff. If adults contact you with this stuff, you run away and you freaking call the police right now. That's exactly what should be told. If Miss Danica shows up anywhere near one of these children, the cops should be called. That's the absolute truth about this sort of stuff. Absolutely disgusting. Oh my gosh, this keeps going on further and further as she argues that children should be exposed to sex more and more and more. It's disgusting. It's degenerate, it's evil, and this needs to be stopped This is why we're here to fight this kind of stuff. And I am going to do everything I can to make sure that shame is brought back to people who do this kind of stuff to children, because they need to be shamed. That's what we're here to do. Whew. All right. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I knew I was going to get heated at the start of this, but it's, when it comes to kids, we got to protect them. That's it. All right. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this, and we will be back soon.